Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Kimbo here, and it's time for a little discussion video. So, it's about some stuff that's recently come out. I know people have wondered my thoughts on things, so yeah. Just saying, with this, obviously, there's gonna be my opinion with things, but also there's gonna be reasoning behind those things, per usual. Just saying, gonna have my opinion on things because got my own thoughts on things too. Some people might not have the same thoughts as I do, but I got my own thoughts on things. Just my demeanor. Anyways, let's get into it. So, what I'm talking about with this is obviously Random Booster Volume 21. So, it got revealed recently. I had a feeling that always during the summer, TT puts out a lot of stuff. They put out a ton of things. And I was expecting a booster for sure. I honestly wasn't expecting it probably this month. I was honestly thinking maybe August we get it. But sure enough, they dropped the news on the newest Random Booster Volume 21. So this booster, anybody who hasn't seen it, I'm sure everybody's seen it at this point. But if you haven't, the prize bays are actually Death and Abyss Diabolos. So we're getting new Diabolos with this. So big time fingers crossed that we get Delta. He's one of the characters that you guys know I've wanted to see the most in the show, like, come back for this season, because especially the end game level feel with this, you can't skip over certain characters that you just brought in throughout Beyblade history. You know what I mean? It wouldn't make any sense, like, plot wise and such, to just have them show up, be absolute beasts, and even towards the end of the season or at the end of the season, them still be really, really strong, but not bring them back for like an end game season, which definitely season 5, aka Super King or Sparking, is that season. So yeah, really hoping that they do put Delta in the show. And I know in the manga they have shown off Delta with Diabolos, using these Diaboloses. And hopefully we see the same thing in the show. He's just, like I said, one of the characters you really can't skip over. But until we see him in the show, it's obviously speculation and such, but we are getting the new Diaboloses with this next random booster. So, as first things first about like the actual like combos themselves. Some people aren't really, really happy about them, which it's understandable. Me personally, I'm not upset because we're getting new Diaboloses. So the combo for Death Diabolos is, I think, 4-turn merge dash. So I'm not honestly that upset about that combo. I know people are like, oh, it uses 4. We've seen 4 before. It's using turn. We've seen turn before, and merge dash. We have gotten that before, but we've only gotten merge dash, I think, with one other bay, and it was in a random booster before. So honestly, seeing that, not too upset, because the fact is that bay is going to be really aggressive. That Diabolos is going to hit like a truck for sure, and especially having the dash driver on it should definitely help it out big time. Am I a little disappointed that it doesn't have like a double chassis on it or something? Yeah, a bit, but still, getting this new Diabolos, really, really stoked about that. And Abyss Diabolos, the combo for it is 5 and Fusion Dash, which honestly, surprised about that combo too. Regardless, really glad to see Abyss Diabolos is basically like Death and Abyss are definitely like kind of the evos of Erase and Venom Diabolos, those layers. Stuff like Super King forms. The layers themselves look really, really awesome, and honestly, Death Diabolos' combo I have no problems with. Still looks really, really sick, and it looks like it's actually going to hit like a truck big time. That being the combo that's going to be mainly focused for the attack, because Delta's the balance type blader. So his bay, Diabolos is usually have that mix of just like big time attack, defense, and stamina, But seeing that with the two different combos, I think is really, really cool. That Diabolos bringing out that full out attack with the combo, which really, really digging that for sure. But also some kind of stamina with it, because obviously merge with it, gives it a little bit more stamina, but like not the craziest amount, We all know how merge is, but the fact that it's so aggressive and it'll hit so hard. But honestly, like I said, the main one I'm surprised about is Abyss. Just 5 and Fusion Dash. I'm surprised that they didn't put like at least like a frame on it, which I am kind of shocked about that. Abyss itself looks like it's gonna be pretty decent, like kind of decent attack wise, and it looks kind of rounded, so it looks like it's gonna have some defense with it. And then obviously they're trying to get a little bit of stamina with the fusion with it. I'm just surprised that they're not using Generate or generate dash, because that's what it came with before. So that was honestly kind of a big shock to me. At least like one of them not having, one of them having like generate, and neither one of them having it. You know what I mean? Because generate was such a cool driver, and it was honestly pretty dang strong and bulky. But regardless, we're getting these combos, and I'm staying optimistic about it because at the end of the day, we're getting the bays, we're getting the combos. Not everything that goes in the manga is followed in the show. If time comes and then like Delta does show up in the show and he has both of these bays stock wise with their combos that they are in the booster, and so be it. But till he shows up, we honestly don't know what's gonna happen in the show. Because like I said, they differentiate some things with the show and the manga. Some things change up big time. But yeah, man, regardless, I'm still really, really excited for them because they both do look really, really cool. And the fact that, you could see parts of like Master even with both of them, I think is really, really sick. So, TT put some thought into that. Just, time will tell with like the parts and such, but stock wise, hopefully they're pretty good. It's gonna have to hard launch them and such. But yeah, man, regardless, getting the new Diaboloses. So that's what I think about like the prize bays. Now, obviously talking about the rest of the booster. Now, this is the main thing I really, really want to go into. Probably people's thoughts, like, what do you think about the other bays that they put in? So, I'll be honest, there are bays that I'm really, really hype about. There's other bays I'm like, that's kind of underwhelming. But I am really excited because they're putting another Plastic Gen remake in this random booster. I keep up with I'm trying to keep up with just the actual like layers of the random booster. Don't know the parts. I always try to like not learn the parts. I don't want to know the parts. I want that to be like a full-on surprise. But at least the layers, just seeing those, and especially seeing like the images and such, they've shown the entire booster at this point. Well, besides the parts, and like I said, just gonna stay away from seeing that. But they're putting in the Plastic Gen remake. I think it's Dronzer V, which we haven't seen Dronzer V before. TT did put out a video like earlier this year saying they're gonna make another Plastic Gen remake set. Like how they did the first one with like all the Plastic Gen remakes in it. And they also put Drasil F in that, Drasil Fortress. We hadn't seen that before, that set actually. But then they put it out, I think, they put out one of the random boosters, most recent random boosters. But Dronzer V, that is cool to see because we're getting another Plastic Gen remake, and it's one that we haven't seen. And besides like that set, which I don't think that set's even out, we're getting that bay, which that's really, really cool. Seeing Dronzer V, like they're making more Plastic Gen remakes, and this is exactly why I'm like, we can't count them out of making Metal Fight remakes, like some more remakes. You know what I mean? Like season 2 ones like Galaxy Pegasus, Meteor L, Drago, Ray Striker, Hell Kerbex, etc., etc. We can't count them out because they're still doing some Plastic Gen remakes. This shows it with Dronzer V. Maybe in the next random booster, like we get random booster 22 sometime in the fall, maybe they put in another Metal Fight remake. That would be really, really crazy. But, really, really glad to see that because it is something new and it adds something to the table of like the meta and such. I know it's not the most competitive thing, but like, there is still like the classic format, and you never know how it could be with classic. Yeah, guys, really, really excited about Dronzer V. Let's see what else they put in. They put in King Fafnir. I know it's one of the combos, King Fafnir, which I'm really excited about that because, like, seeing those recolors, you know what I mean? Getting those recolors of, like, parts we've seen before, and especially parts that we haven't gotten a bunch of. That's, like, the main thing I think it should be for boosters. Obviously, that hasn't been the case with boosters. Sometimes in the case with, like, some boosters, you've seen parts that we've seen so many times before. But the main thing that makes it where like, oh man, I really am getting crazy super hype about this booster is them adding in things that we haven't seen. You know what I mean? Like whether it's a recolor of parts that we haven't seen a ton of, or just new parts like new dash drivers. Those are the main things that get me really, really hype for any booster, at this stage. So, seeing King Fafnir, that's a recolor of King, and that's a recolor of Fafnir. Really excited about that. There's also a Burn Phoenix with this. It's like an ice blue one. They pay homage. I love how they pay homage, too. They're paying homage to, like, the limited edition Burn Phoenix. Like, it was, like, it was 90 WF that they put out during MFB. We've seen them do homage to, like, past bays with this before. Like, the Stardust Storm Pegasus. They made, like, a layer that was that colored in one of the last random boosters. And seeing that with Burn Phoenix, honestly, not upset. You know, Burn Phoenix, I think, is pretty decent. Doesn't have the craziest like teeth with it, but also the Metal Fight remakes don't, because they don't want to be like crazy overpowered, OP. You know, um, uh, but yeah, man. Regardless, like I'm still really excited. I'm excited about that remake for sure. You know, and just seeing those colors with it, it looks really cool, like the ice blue. Um, and let's see. Besides that, what are the base? They have a Cosmo Pegasus, which is kind of cool. Imagine that's TT hinting. I'm like, we're gonna make Cosmic Pegasus in the future, or nah, because it's Big Bang Pegasus under TT. But it's Cosmo Pegasus. We have seen Cosmo a few times before this, so it's like okay, like just seeing Cosmo again. All right. Um, and having another Pegasus chip. We have seen multiple Pegasus chips, so it's like regardless, it's gonna be like a kind of cool combo to see, but also like we've seen those parts before. Definitely want them to like put in parts of bays that we haven't seen a ton of, like a ton of recolors of. Um, then I think there's two more after that, narrowing it down. So that being there's an Emperor Fornius and there's an Air Knight. Now them honestly, in my honest opinion, like regardless, I'm gonna get the bays and they're gonna be, they'll be fun, because seeing the recolors for these bays, but also these felt like kind of choices in my honest opinion, just because we're in Super King now and we're still getting like parts for Cho-Z bays, and especially Cho-Z bays that we've seen so many recolors for. Like they could have put in some other recolors for bays that we haven't seen that many of. Like for example, Cho-Z Achilles. If they would have put in a recolor of Cho-Z Achilles, would have been happy with that. We've seen a recolor of Cho-Z Valkyrie with the gold random booster, but like a Cho-Z Spriggan. I know people would have loved seeing like a recolor of Cho-Z Spriggan. Even putting that in there. Or even putting in like Lord or something, or maybe they think it's too soon to put in like a recolor of Lord. I don't know, but just some of the bays, their choices. It's like we've seen those bays like a lot, even with like the recolors. It's mainly the random booster should be for one, adding in, like I said, adding in like new dash drivers or such. Obviously, hyping up like the big time prize bays, but also a place where you can show off new dash drivers and also put in some recolors for bays that we haven't gotten that many recolors for. I mean, Cho-Z Spriggan, what? We only got like the stock one with the set, and then the white knight version, the white Cho-Z Spriggan. I think that's it. Like that would have been perfect to put in another Cho-Z Spriggan even. But yeah, man, like the choices for it overall as a random booster, if I had to give it like a rating out of 10, I'd honestly give it like maybe like I'd probably give it like a 6. In my honest opinion, like just this goes for like everything in the booster, you know what I mean? Like a 6. I know some people are probably like, dude, I wouldn't even rate it that high. Like literally just going for everything as it is, like, part wise and such. And the parts, the drivers and such might change it up. They might change it up and make it where like it might go up a little bit. I'm really hoping they put in at least some new dash drivers with this. Like I said, the big ones I want to see: Iron Dash, Sword Dash, Impact Dash, Charge Dash, and Trick Dash. Those are definitely the ones I want to see big time. So, if they include any of those, like I'll be really glad, and then it'll be like, yay, call another dash driver. But time will tell with that. I really do hope they put in some new dash drivers at least, and we're not getting, because I know some of the layers are definitely copies, so I hope we're getting like some new parts with this, or parts we haven't gotten that many of. Like, I mean, it'll be cool if they put like wheel in, because a lot of people are using wheel for combos, and it is a really good disc. It's really round and has a pretty good LED with it. So if they put wheel in on one of the bays, that would be really cool. They put in any of those dash drivers or a new dash driver we haven't seen, that would be really cool. Any parts that we haven't seen like a ton of, that would be really cool. Imagine they just throw like Paradox on one of these bays, because they're just like, why the heck not? But no, they actually didn't. They threw Paradox on. Well, that was also like that booster too. It was I think Dread Fafnir. They put Paradox on, but that was also when they put out Naked Spriggan. So like some parts we haven't gotten a ton of, like Paradox, a few other parts that we haven't gotten like that many of. Maybe like a chassis we haven't seen before, or not like that we haven't seen before, that we haven't seen that much of before. But time will tell with how like the full booster is gonna be, the parts and such. But overall, like I said, I give it like a 6 out of 10. like fully for being a booster, and time will tell if like Delta has like the stock combos for Death Diabolos and Abyss Diabolos in the show. Like I said, time will tell with that one, but you know, because until we see things in the show, we don't know. It's speculation. You know, we can see it in the manga, but we can't always follow what the manga says. Sometimes some events might correspond, but other times they don't. So like I said, it's just going to come down to the show. And I really, really hope TT puts Delta in the show. Like, come on, man. Do not skip over that, man. Like, just certain characters, you can't skip over them. Like, definitely don't do that, especially with an endgame level feel. Because this season deserves that hype level with all these characters coming back. Like, the big-time strongest characters throughout history. Because whatever's going to be at the end is going to be that much of a threat. And all these characters definitely deserve to come back. But, yeah, guys. So, I guess that is everything for this discussion video. I obviously gave some opinions about things. You can let me know your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, like I said, I'm an optimistic guy. Everybody knows that about me. I try to find the best out of any situation and such. And went in with like an open level mind about things, you know, even with this booster. Some people might sit and like roast a lot of things with it, but you know, just being fully honest on my thoughts on it. But yeah, regardless, gonna be some good releases for July, you know, this booster. And also, I mean, we're getting first Uranus. Some people think like, oh, Uranus or Uranus. Tomato, tomato. People say it different ways, like words, you know, nothing to get really picky about. But first Uranus and also Variant Lucifer both coming out too. And yeah, really, really excited to see how they're going to be. Anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to slice that like button down below. Let me know how I did. If you're new to my channel, definitely be sure to subscribe for some epic content because I upload daily. And if you haven't already, be sure to ring that bell by my channel name to be notified whenever I upload a video. So yeah, guys, till next time, it's your boy Kimbo signing off. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. Till then, stay awesome and cool shoot. I'm up out of here.